We talked about the name. Name is Sri Krishna. The abode is Paramdham. Now the question is, what is the form of Sri Krishna? What is the form of Raji Maharaj that reside in Paramdham? But before we talk about Mahamati Prana's description of the form of the Lord Supreme, we need to look into what the other scriptures say. Because while we are doing the Beerat session, we are also doing the comparison between the understanding of the East and the West. Because we want to make clear, we want to hold on to what is important and discard everything that we have known so far. Just like the soul discards the body, as its purpose is served in that body. When the clothes turn old, we throw away our clothes and put on a new one. Once we have the clear understanding of God, name, abode, form, and sport, we would hold on to the Supreme Being and discard everything else. For that, we need to know what others say, what other scriptures say. So, if we look into the Old Testament, the book of Torah, one of the first messengers of God, Moses, asked God, he asked, if I have found favor in thy sight, show me thy face, that I may know thee. So he wants to have the divine vision of God, Moses. And what does God say in return? What is God's response? He says, thou cannot see my face, for man shall not see me and live. You cannot see me when you are alive, is what God says. Behold, but hold on, there is a place with me, and thou shalt stand upon the rock. And when my glory shall pass, I shall set thee in the hole of the rock and protect thee with my right hand till I pass. And I will take away my hand, then you shall see my back part, but my face thou cannot see. So what does God respond when Moses asked to have a divine glimpse of the Lord? God says, you cannot see me and live, but I'll give you an opportunity. I'll pass by you. You'll be staying under the whole upper rock. And when I shall pass, you would see my back, but my face you cannot see. So the Christian take, the take of Judaism, the Jews of God Supreme, is the fact that God is transcendent. They do not have the definite form of God explained to them in those scriptures. According to Islam, let's get into Islam a little bit. According to Islam, as you all know, the portrayal of even Prophet Muhammad is frowned upon in Islam. You cannot have a picture of Prophet Muhammad, let alone of Allah or Khuda, because Allah is transcendent. Allah is the Lord of the world. Reject anthropomorphic description of Allah, meaning having a human-like state. Such description is rejected. But the people or the Quran describes God or Allah as speaking, sitting on a throne, having a face, eyes, and hands. He has all those attributes, but the depiction of it is frowned upon. The verse of the Quran 6:103 states, vision perceives, comprehends him not. So we cannot see him and our mind cannot comprehend him. But he comprehends everything. He is omniscient, but we do not know him. Al-Tahawi, one of the jurists, Hanafi jurist and theologian, writes in his treatise on theology, whoever describes Allah even with single human quality or attribute has disbelieved, blasphemed. So whoever understands this will take heed and refrain from such statements as those of disbelievers and knows that Allah in his attributes is utterly unlike human beings. So there is no description of Khuda or Allah. You do not find that in the book of Quran, because giving or saying Allah has hand like ours would be utterly disrespectful to the transcendent nature of Allah according to Islam. Now, let's come to Vedic religious traditions. Let's come to Hinduism. According to Vedas, according to Vedanta, one of the last philosophies of Vedic traditions, one of the most revered actually, the Vedanta philosophy considers God being transcendent and formless. But the Vedas speak otherwise. Sama Veda, the second Veda, states, Shruto Yuvasa Indraha. It is heard that the Supreme Being is in his youthful form. So basically what it says is the God Supreme is young. Yajurveda, chapter 31, verse number 19 says, Tasya yonim paripashyanti dhira. The divine form of Supreme Being can only be seen by the true, meek, and awakened souls. Brahma Vaivarta Purana says, Chidadityam Kisorangam, the bliss absolute in his divine, radiating youth form. Atharva Veda 15:2-1 says, Sa udatistat sa prachim disa manubhya chalat, which means the Supreme Being stood up and went towards the east, facing him. The Vedas continue to state, Swam Yavistha Dasuso Nrin Pahi. O youthful Supreme Being, please protect us. Dear Sundar Saji, these are the descriptions about the form. But if you look at Quran, in Mi'raj Prakaran, the chapter in which Prophet Muhammad had the vision of God, it is described in the chapter of Mi'raj Nama. He claims to have seen God behind the curtain in a shape comparable, just the shape, not the attribute, comparable to that of human beings. Bible says God created man in the image and likeness of him. He made human beings just like him, basically. So God must have form. So what is that form is what we'll look into based on the Vedic scriptures and the teachings of Mahamati Pranami. So what the scriptures say. Maheshwar Tantra, chapter 49, verse number 13. Lord Mahesha says, Sada Sodasa Varsiya Dhyayat Krishna Hridam Vijay. The seeker should always meditate on the Supreme Divine Personality Sri Krishna of 16 years of age, always youthful, while residing him in their hearts. So, what this verse means is God Supreme is 16 years of age, youthful, and he is the divine personality. And those seekers of truth who want to have salvation, then he is the source. Bhagavad Mahatmya, says Sachidananda Rupaya Vishwotpatyadi Hetave Tapatraya Vinasaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. We prostrate to Sri Krishna, who is existence, knowledge, bliss, absolute. He is the cause for creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the universe. He vanquishes the three types of afflictions or sufferings, namely Adivautik, Adidaiva, and Adhyatmic. So, God is of existence, knowledge, bliss form, Satchidananda Rup. Here Sundarsati. Sweta Swataropanishad, chapter 3, verse number 9 says, Yasmat param na paramasti kinchit, yasman nadiyo najayoti kasya. Vriksha eva sabdo divitishta deka, senedam purnam purusena sarvam. There is not higher than or different from him, not greater or more minute than him. Rooted in his own glory, he stands like a tree, one without a second, and immovable. By that being, the whole universe is filled. So these are the descriptions of the Lord Supreme. But again, when it comes to explaining the divine form of the Supreme Being, we do not find the details. Mahamati Prannaji is the one who brings Raji Maharaj in such a form that we can understand.